You're sitting in a school cafeteria, laughing with your friends, holding your lunch tray, when suddenly, someone yanks the back of your shirt hard. But this time, it's not just a cruel prank, it's humiliating, it's personal, and you don't even realize every moment is being recorded on the security cameras above. By the end of this story, you'll understand how one girl's courage, one grainy video, and one unexpected alley brought down the school's worst bullies and sent them exactly where they belonged, behind bars. The cafeteria incident. Isabella Tran was 17, shy, and the kind of girl most people overlooked. She kept her head down, spoke only when necessary, and found comfort in sketching in her notebook during lunch breaks. That day, she sat at the corner table in Lincoln High's crowded cafeteria, quietly eating her peanut butter sandwich while the usual noise buzzed around her. Laughter, the clatter of trays, and the occasional shout from the far tables. Isabella knew the cafeteria was a minefield. The so-called popular crowd sat near the center, always loud, always watching, like they owned the place. And among them were Trevor Cole and his friends, a group of senior boys with too much confidence and no respect for anyone else. They were the kind of boys who thrived on humiliating others, especially anyone who wouldn't fight back. That day, Isabella wore her favorite soft blue sweater. She had saved up to buy it from a thrift store because it made her feel warm and safe. She kept her hair tied back neatly, her head bent over her notebook, sketching a scene of the library she loved so much. Trevor spotted her. He smirked at his friends, whispered something, and they all laughed. Isabella didn't notice at first. She was lost in her drawing. But then, it happened. Trevor crept up behind her, grabbed the back of her sweater, and with a swift, sharp yank, pulled her bra strap up and let it snap against her skin. The sound echoed in her ears. Her sandwich fell from her hands, her pencil rolled to the floor, and the shock turned to burning humiliation as laughter erupted from the nearby tables. Her face turned crimson. She froze in her seat, feeling exposed, vulnerable. She wanted to disappear. "Lighten up, Tran," Trevor chuckled, his voice dripping with mockery. "It's just a joke." But it wasn't a joke. It was a violation. And in that moment, she felt every pair of eyes in the cafeteria on her. A few kids laughed. Others looked away, pretending they hadn't seen. Not a single teacher was close enough to notice. Isabella grabbed her tray and rushed out, her vision blurring with tears. She didn't stop until she reached the girls' bathroom, locking herself inside a stall. Her breathing was uneven. She hated herself for not shouting back, for not pushing him away, for being too stunned to react. Little did Trevor know, the whole thing had been caught on the cafeteria's security cameras, and someone was watching. The footage that changed everything. Mr. Jameson, the school's security officer, was not the type to ignore bullying. He had lost a niece to suicide years ago after relentless school harassment, and ever since, he'd made it his mission to keep Lincoln High a safe place for students. That afternoon, while reviewing footage for an unrelated cafeteria scuffle, he noticed the scene with Isabella. He leaned closer, replaying it. The way Trevor approached from behind, the deliberate yank, the way Isabella flinched. It wasn't just horseplay. It was harassment. Jameson saved the clip and took it straight to Principal Hernandez. The principal was disturbed but cautious. "You know the rules, Jameson. We have to talk to the student, get her account before moving forward." So they called Isabella into the office the next morning. She walked in quietly, clutching her notebook like a shield. Her eyes darted between the principal and Mr. Jameson, unsure why she'd been summoned. "We need to ask you about something that happened in the cafeteria yesterday," the principal said gently. Isabella hesitated. Her instinct was to say nothing, keep her head down, let it blow over. But Mr. Jameson's voice was steady, reassuring. "You didn't deserve what happened to you, Isabella. We saw it on the cameras. It's not your fault." Her lips trembled. She nodded slowly, the weight of yesterday's humiliation pressing down on her. "I didn't think anyone would care," she whispered. "But we do," Mr. Jameson replied firmly, "and we're going to do something about it." The next step was calling in Trevor and his friends. At first, they laughed it off. It was just a joke. Trevor insisted, rolling his eyes. But when Mr. Jameson played the footage on the office monitor, their expressions changed. "This," he said, pointing at the screen, "is not a joke. It's assault." The school followed protocol. Parents were called, the police were notified, and statements were taken. Isabella's parents were furious. They had trusted the school to keep their daughter safe. 2 days later, Trevor and his two accomplices were led out of school in handcuffs. Their smirks were gone. The charges were serious: harassment, assault, and violation of school safety laws. News of the arrest spread quickly. The cafeteria, once a place Isabella dreaded, became strangely quiet when she walked in. The whispers weren't mocking anymore. They were filled with shock, even respect. For the first time in a long while, Isabella felt like she could breathe. But her journey wasn't over. The scars of humiliation don't vanish overnight. She still avoided crowded spaces, still felt a sting when laughter erupted behind her. Yet now she wasn't invisible anymore. People saw her. And she knew one thing for sure: no one was ever going to get away with hurting her again.